Hello YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Montez and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. You know that it's that time of the day again where we're gonna stop. It's that time of the week again where we're gonna stop and talk about the next episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So let's just get started talking about episode 3 of Power Broker, episode 3, Falcon and Winter Soldier. And yeah, let's just get into this episode review, shall we? So for me, the best thing about this episode is that really, I kind of liked, I really liked the way we kind of got Baron Zemo in this episode. Really just the chemistry between all of the characters was just really good, especially when it came to Bucky, Sam, and Baron Zemo. It was really just good. And Baron Zemo, let's talk about him. So for me, Baron Zemo was actually a pretty cool character in this episode. He's been in custody since Civil War, and so he kind of has this little arc, and that maybe those 9 years of prison, because he was in prison from 2016 to 2021, 2024. And so I guess that those nine years taught him something. They taught him that maybe he is a good guy. And I like how he's kind of like the ally now. And so I thought that was a really cool thing that they did with his character. And of course, it's just quirky and very likable in some sorts. And you actually get to learn about a little bit more about him, where since he's a Baron, he's rich. And it's nice to see that he actually dons the Baron Zemo mantle, and it's cool to see him do some action sequences and beat up guys, explode stuff. That's of course exciting. So yeah, Baron Zemo was actually a pretty cool character in this episode. Another thing I really liked about this episode is that we get we kind of get another interesting, exciting world inside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, obviously, it's not like one of the best worlds we've ever seen since like Asgard or like anything, but like it's a nice addition. Especially, it's a nice world that is explored. That is, of course, for this show. If it's in another movie or show, I don't know if it would have worked. But for this sort of series, this Madripoor works. And then also, you gotta talk about the chemistry between Sam and Bucky. Like, they are just hilarious in their roles. Whether talking about when they're getting chased by the gun guys, and Sam was like, "I can't run to these heels," and then when Bucky and Sam are like bickering one another, it's like it's in every action movie. And it's like, this is just hilarious. Let's talk about Sharon Carter in this episode. So, to be honest, I was really kind of expecting that she was going to be, like, the hero. Like, she was going to be with these guys the whole way through until, the last episode. That didn't happen. But her story is very different from what we saw in The Winter Soldier, as well as Civil War. Because if you don't remember from Civil War, the last time we saw her was when she was helping Captain America's team, Steve Rogers' team, to get Cap's shield and Sam's wings, so that way they can go stop Baron Zemo. In the last 5 super soldiers that were just like Winter Soldier. And basically, the Avengers couldn't back her up because after that she was basically on the run. And so it's a really nice story that they did with her. But you got to be honest with you, when she was talking down to Sam about feeling like when you saw him put that Captain America shield on, you should have felt disgraced. And I'm like, she's kind of being an asshole about all of this, and I do not like that. So she's kind of mean now, but you understand what she's going through at the same time. Also, as I mentioned before, I love when the MCU does amazing action sequences, especially when it comes to really shows like this or movies like this. And I loved the action in this episode. Really, the first action sequence where Winter Soldier is battling all the guys in the bar, or when people are getting shoot, or when Sharon Carter is actually like fighting the guys like with the batarangs and all that stuff. It's really cool. I kind of wish the action was just a little bit better, kind of like Winter Soldier, but the action was still really good. Another thing is that we kind of learned a little bit more about the Flag Smashers, and there's a plot line that, if you don't remember back when they were stealing the trucks, and they were filling all those trucks with like boxes and stuff, they said that Bucky said it was medicine and vaccines. When you get into this episode, you start to realize, oh, so the vaccines and the medicine is for Carly Morgenthau's mom, or the woman that she was with at the hospital in that scene. And I was like, oh, so it kind of, I wouldn't say like complicates I wouldn't say it puts the story together, but for me, it kind of puts the story together of what these Flag Smashers were trying to do when they were stealing the medicine and vaccines. I'm not saying it like I understand the whole. I'm not saying I know what the whole story of this is, the whole show, but with the reason why they sold vaccines and the medicines, it kind of explains the whole plot of that. Another thing I liked is that first sequence where we get with John Walker, where he's basically looking for the Flag Smashers. The guy spits on him and he's like, "Do you know who I am?" And then he's like, "Yes, I do, and I don't care." And I'm like, this is literally everybody on the internet, because I keep hearing that Wyatt Russell is like getting death threats. He's like people are hating on him, and people are not liking that he's the new Captain America. And so this is kind of something, I like how they kind of brought the real world stuff into of what's going on with this character and of what people think about this character, and really just kind of put it on this show, and it was really cool. So that's kind of what I loved about that. So that's kind of where it ends on a positive. And actually, I think one more thing before I get to the negatives is that for the first 3 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier, all of them, I've watched them. They've always came out when I wasn't in school. I don't because WandaVision, I've always had to watch them when I was in school, and that's kind of how I actually get my early reviews out. Well, for the first episode at least. But because I'm not in school anymore, I actually get to watch it a little bit early, because technically when it's Friday, I technically just relax a little bit. Probably watch it at 6 or 5. But most of the time I would usually watch it when my mom gets off work, or well, when I watched WandaVision, I would usually just watch it at 6 or midnight. But that was midnight. Watching it at midnight was only one time because we were cleaning my house. But yeah, I liked how I actually got to watch these 3 episodes early than usual on these Fridays. So yeah, that's just a little detail. And yeah, let's move on to the bad now. Now, when it comes to the bad, much like the second episode, I felt like it could have set up some things. Like, I don't feel like it's... I don't... As this is the second episode, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed a lot of stuff about the episode. I just kind of thought that when we get into this episode, I just felt like I don't know what the story of this show is yet. Like, I don't really know what the plot of it is. I'm not really sure what, like, the story of this show is. But like I said, I'm not saying it sets up the story of the entire show. But, like, in the good, I said that when we get to the thing about the moment in the hospital with Carly Morgenthau, like, that scene kind of explains what was going on. And so I kind of liked the way it kind of set up of why they were getting the vaccines and the medicine, because they wanted to save someone. And also, like, I don't know, just the way it kind of ended, it doesn't feel like a satisfying ending. It's just like, I wish I could know what the story is about this whole show. I feel like we don't really, like I said, this is probably a problem for all the episodes, but I just don't feel like we know, I don't feel like I know the story of this show yet. Another thing is that I feel like with John Walker, I feel like, because he was in 2 scenes, I felt like we could have gotten more. The first sequence where he gets spit on was a really good sequence, but that's not really so. And then when he goes to the German prison in Berlin, it doesn't really do anything. You don't really feel the stakes. You don't really feel anything. It's just, oh, so they're going to German because they know that Zemo broke, because they know Bucky and Sam broke Zemo out of jail. That's fun. But yeah, there's a couple things I don't like about it, but I still really enjoyed it, and it's still one of the best episodes of the show. Well, sort of. I would give this pretty good thumbs up. So yeah, that is my thoughts on the Power Broker episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 3. Let me know what you guys thought down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you right in between? And will you be watching episode 3 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier this weekend? Let me know what you guys down below of this episode. With that said, let's get started talking about those scores. Alright, so that is it for my Falcon and the Winter Soldier review, episode 3 review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My Instagram name is Marvel6. My TikTok name is Marvel1Fan. And I'll see you guys in the next video. But if you don't understand those names of my Instagram and TikTok, go to my About section so you can find those names and follow me on those social medias. And also, I have Letterboxd. It's the same as my Instagram name, Marvel6. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.